Welcome once again to the Tin Dog Podcast. As you can no doubt hear, my voice is in a less than perfect state this week. Luckily for you, however, this week's show was actually recorded last week, if that makes sense. With the exception of this part, I'm guessing I'll call this the prequel or the preface. Let's call it the preface, shall we? The reason for the preface is severalfold. First off, the person who sent last week's email saying that my show was too political has actually emailed me saying they were just having a bad day and they were apologising. They really had no need to apologise at all. If you asked 1,000 Doctor Who fans, they'd all have 1,000 opinions on the show. That's why we're here. We're here to talk about the show, something we all love and we all want to be great. So really, nobody has any reason to feel bad about anything. If you want to email me at all, the address is at the end of the podcast. Of course, I also want to say that there won't be a show next week, so don't worry if it doesn't upload. It's just I think I should give my voice a bit of a rest. I'm not feeling particularly great and I can feel it going. So unless you want to listen to a podcast that sounds like some sort of phone call that you really would hang up, I would suggest just hanging on there. The following shows will be 3 parts of the complete history of the Daleks. They'll be presented by my friend Gabriel Chase. Right, another reason for this preface is, well, some things I'm not particularly pleased about, i.e. Kylie Minogue and Catherine Tate. Of course, they're the actresses rather than the actual characters. I'm not fond of Donna. Donna was the main companion in last year's Christmas special, The Runaway Bride. Did you enjoy that? You kind of sat there. Look, there's a whole podcast dedicated to it and I am losing my voice. I'm not fond of Donna. Everyone keeps saying she'll be like Tegan. And to quote Catherine Tate, how very dare you? Tegan was glorious. Tegan was wonderful. Tegan is not Catherine Tate, is not Donna. I will reserve judgment, I'm just not fond of it. I think the character isn't fabulous and isn't well thought out enough. I can see the arguments for bringing back someone we've already met, but is it truly what we need? I was thinking someone else from another time. I like Charlie Pollard, but then again that really would mess up a lot of continuity and it would really mess with a lot of people's canon. The news that annoyed me more than Catherine Tate was Kylie Minogue. I've never been a huge fan, and I know this goes against a lot of people's opinions of Kylie. As a singer, she's a great actress, and as an actress, she's a fantastic singer. But she's just not my cup of tea. I don't really know what character she'll be playing, and it does border on the much talked about, or indeed whispered about, Doctor Who musical episode. Now, I know I intend reviewing Doctor Who and the Pirates on Big Finish, but so few people have heard that, and the debate about whether there should be a musical episode of Doctor Who or not, we'll get back to. I'm not saying that this is going to be a musical episode. The only thing that's got me through the knowledge of this Christmas special is something that's too good to be true. It really isn't true. It can't be. Paul McGann would appear in the Christmas special. There'd be a multi-Doctor story ending with a regeneration sequence. That's just been put there to make people who don't like Kylie go, I think I'll watch that. It'll be good. I can't see it happening. I'd love for it to happen, but I just can't. Anyway, I'll see you in a few weeks and enjoy the rest of the podcast. Be seeing you. Welcome to this episode of the Tin Dog Podcast. This week I'm going to be talking about my favourite episode from Season 3, Doctor Who, The Infinite Quest. Now, some of you might have missed this specific episode. I mean, for example, on my filing system, it's actually down as episode 3.14, which, as we all know, doesn't exist. 3.14, if anything, should be the coming Christmas special. Ah, yes. It's an animated Doctor Who story. Now, I know many of you would instantly turn off at that thought, but bear with me. Please bear with me. I loved this. It was a nicely written Doctor Who story. Originally, it was located inside the kids' TV programme Totally Doctor Who, where they used to go around saying the word totally all the time. I wasn't particularly fond of the show, but if I had been 8, and let's face it, part of me still is, otherwise I wouldn't still be doing this, I would love it. So, every week I've been recording the episode, trimming down the episode within the episode, the 3.5-minute segment, putting them all onto one DVD, so that eventually I could put them all together. Basically, for the American listeners, it's very similar to the Clone Wars animated series that was on the Cartoon Network. The early one, season 1, the one that was like 3 minutes long each, and what you had to do was watch them all together and you got a fabulously great narrative. Each story itself was very well done, but collectively it added up to something huge. This is exactly the same here. And rather cleverly, the BBC didn't show the final episode, part 13, because the totally Doctor Who is only 12 episodes long. So the 13th instalment was actually shown only with the Omnibus episode. Now sadly there were some on-screen graphics at the end, which annoy me more than you can possibly believe, as I believe I told the woman from the BBC when I was being lectured to by her while I was at university. Obviously that made no impression on her whatsoever. I'm digressing, but then again, that's my job. The Infinite Quest basic story is the Doctor and Martha land on a pirate ship that's just about to attack Earth, defeat said pirate's giant golden gold-eating parrot, meets up with them and says that, hey, the pirate has been to jail, he's got out, and he's on this quest for this thing called the Infinite. The Infinite will give you your heart's desire, a lovely phrase meaning very little. The Infinite is also part of the ancient leftover things from the from the galaxy, from the origins. There's lots and lots of things from the origins of the galaxy, most of which are still around. But either way, the Doctor and Martha head off to try and find the pieces in a very key-to-time kind of a way. But of course there are only 4 segments, thus allowing 2 episodes per segment, and a denouement at the end in order to sort everything out. There's oil-guzzling futuristic platforms, robots, undead pirates, there's planets filled with bugs and humans in disguise, there's all sorts of wonderful things. And to be honest, this, if you're looking for an alien world in Doctor Who, is just wonderful. It does make you sit there going, could we send this to Russell? But of course, as he's down as one of the executive producers anyway, I'm sure he's seen it. I'm sure he's made it canon. I'm sure he's made everything fit together. It was extremely well written, and watching the Omnibus edition was even better than watching it week by week. The performances were almost universally wonderful. Anthony Stewart Head, yes, Giles from Buffy, or indeed the headmaster, that whole, oh, it's the master, it's not, oh, he's headmaster, oh, leave it, thing from season 2, makes a very nice performance, using, as always, his same voice. But to be fair, it's a great voice, so why not? Lisa Tarbuck puts in a fantastic performance. I had to check the words and work out who she was, because it just didn't sound like her. There's androids in this, there's absolutely everything any Doctor Who fan or any fanboy could ever want. It was very well done. Even the end, where Martha's about to get her heart's desire, and we all discover it's the Doctor, felt so much more like one of the TV episodes than in some of the TV episodes. I would definitely recommend tracking this one down and watching it. I hope that it ends up as an extra on the DVDs. If you need a sort of standpoint to reference this, the nearest thing I can come up with is it's very much like the animated Star Trek series. For example, it has things that the TV series doesn't have. The animated Star Trek series had the holodeck years before the Next Generation ever had it. Similarly, this TARDIS monitor system isn't a little TV screen, isn't a flat screen thing you'd get from PC World. No, this is very much more like Paul McGann's monitor, where the whole roof reveals holographic imagery of planets and things. A very nice touch. I would like to see some of that return from time to time to the series. Well, I must admit, that does indeed kind of wrap it up. I'd like to say that I enjoyed all of the animation. If anything, my only issue with this was the animation itself. Flash does leave me wanting more, and of course you've created human beings, identifiable human beings, without becoming caricatures as part of this. You do end up from time to time with the whole flappy mouth Charlie says kind of visuals. But there's some very nice sequences. The Doctor walking away is done very well, and it does strike me as more of a motion capture than real animation. Sometimes it works terribly well. There's a fantastic pull-out in the last episode. Cosgrove Hall is one of my favourite companies, and Firestep always do a great job with what they've got. You have to remember, it is the same company that did the segments for The Invasion, so if you enjoyed that, this is well worth a look. I'll leave it there and let you go online and try and track it down somewhere. Be seeing you. You have been listening to the Tin Dog Podcast. If you have been affected by anything discussed in this show, a helpline has definitely not been set up. However, you can email us at tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk or leave a comment or a picture at our website www.tin-dog.co.uk. Doctor Who is a registered trademark of the BBC, and they'll come round and bite you if you misuse it. No infringement is intended.